Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I want to do a quick video because there are quite a few people that asked me about a compression release that I did on a Craftsman, an MTD made Craftsman with the 21 horsepower Intech engine on it that failed. I had some suggestions as to what the cause could have been. And I wanted to, I guess, clarify or give y'all an update because there were enough people interested. I figured I'd go ahead and give you an update as to what happened to it. So it's very interesting. I have this Craftsman behind me here that's going to come on the channel this spring, and I tried using that camshaft in a different engine and got the same result. So I think I got a bad camshaft. Which is not uncommon from what I hear for Briggs Intech engines. Whether you get a Briggs one that seems like it breaks, whether you get an aftermarket one that seems like it'll break, it's almost like a crapshoot, it seems. If anybody has any more, I guess, information or insight as to compression release failures and stuff on these Briggs single cylinder Intechs or the newer single cylinder stuff, please reach out. I tried everything on the original 21 horsepower engine, and Double Wide 6 asked if I had re-gapped the valves properly, and I don't remember doing that after I originally set them. I could have, but I wanted to give you a second case as to it not working, essentially. Spoiler alert. Let's go over here to this Craftsman, because what I did, first off, there's the original 21 horse Intech. It's just been kind of a parts engine, and it probably will be a parts engine. I do need the base plate off of it for a 17.5 horsepower that I have out in the yard when I eventually get to it. So it will be used very well. I did just put some of the red goop and whatnot in there, or red gasket sealer, because I didn't know if this would work or not. I was banking that it would not, because I was thinking that it was a cam failure or a bad camshaft, and I wanted to, here, I'll give it a run and start. The battery's fully charged, and I can hear the camshaft, you can hear it just, the compression just out of this world on this thing. Even still with this new camshaft, it's doing the exact same thing as it did on the other engine. Let me show you. I've given it a running start, right? You see, it's just doing the same thing. It's not building up enough momentum, I guess. And the starter is in very good shape. So, and it turns over the engine just fine. It's very powerful, but obviously it's not going to overcome that. So even though the compression release is intact and it's good, which it was, I had a video filmed and I deleted it, unfortunately, but I pulled the cam off of that other engine and it was good. Compression release was going back and forth and everything, but it's doing the exact same symptoms on this engine. So that leads me to believe, because whenever you have the compression release working, it turns over very easily. So there's some issue. Even though the compression release looks like it's good, it's having an issue turning over, and I don't know why. One other thing I wanted to add, this is a non-Intech engine, which means that it did not come with, or it doesn't have the slot. This is the old cam, the compression release is shot. It doesn't have the slot for the oil pump. However, your diameter here of the shaft is different. The only thing is, it adds a slot. I cannot find these camshafts that without a slot hardly at all online. I'm sure I could order one at the parts store, but I'm sure it would be over $100, truthfully, after shipping and everything to the store. So I'm like, why can't I put an Intech cam in a non-Intech engine? That slot shouldn't make any difference, at least in my book. it's still got to do the rotational force around the engine, and it's going to do that with the slot in this oil pump, so I don't think it's going to gouge out anything. If anybody, like I said, if anybody else has any more advice on it, please let me know. I'm kind of feeling here, because I did a successful camshaft swap on another snapper rear engine rider for my neighbor, and it runs and does great. I think he got it home and they flooded it out or something, so they're going to put a plug in, and I told them if they had any issue, just let me know and I'll make it right. But that thing, it's gone, along with the little red tiller that I have. And I will tie this into a miniature update. Pardon the siren, sounds like somebody's had an emergency. But that snapper's gone. Everything went very smooth on that, fixing it, as y'all saw in the video. So I want to give y'all an update kind of as to what I am currently working on here and what y'all will be seeing on the channel. A lot of the stuff in here is in progress. I still haven't touched the wheel horse yet. It must be a serious emergency, guys. This Craftsman YS4500 is pretty much done. Let me tell you everything I had to do to it, Cliff Notes version. I will be doing an in-depth video on this. You'll see it coming up here later in the month. ATF in the tires. The tires are pretty much dry rotted to the point where they were going to go down in the matter of a day. I put ATF in the tires. We're on like day 6 or day 7. They haven't hardly lost any air, which is great. This 46-inch deck was swapped from a 42-inch deck. I had to bend the front of the deck back because of the belt was rubbing up against the deck because it was so jacked, and the original deck on this, or the deck that the mower originally came off of, they had a chain to the front of it, and they were seriously just dragging it across the yard to cut grass with it. No joke. So that has been fixed. All the pulleys are aligned. It's not wearing the belt weird. The blades are working. The blade brakes are working, which is somewhat of a miracle because I was having issues. I tried to do a custom, because it didn't have a discharge chute, I tried to do a custom discharge chute out of one of those Commander XXL plastic totes, like that back there. I cut it out, and I knew the wild card would be, would it be durable enough, say, whenever a rock or a pine cone and stuff hit it. You can probably see the hole in it. It's not. That's no big loss right there. It does work well for the push mowers, and I can make push mower chutes out of it just because the intensity of the blades are a lot less on push mowers, and it'll work fairly decently. But this one's pretty much done apart from that. A blade sharpening, I might do a quick final cleaning to it just to make it look better. Probably a $600-ish mower, I would say, in its condition. It is very weathered. And I also had to work on the drag links because I had an alignment issue, which is very, very typical for these. The John Deere 165 has surprised me very much so. I know if Bruce's shop is watching this, he's probably really looking forward to seeing this one go. I found out, and I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, but I must have not mashed the brake or anything whenever I fixed the blade brake switch, because I had no resistance between the starter solenoid and the key switch. So I was wondering, why is it not starting? Well, it ended up because I didn't have the brake down still, even though the brake safety was the one that was bad. There must be some sort of additional switch on the brake. So I pushed the brake down, locked the brake in, old ignition, original starter. The new starter is sitting right here because I was guaranteed that I had to put one on it, because that's what I thought. And it starts right over. Let me see, or it doesn't run. I still have to pretty much do the entire fuel system on it, but just hang tight here. And it'll kick over with starter fluid. So that's a really good sign. I'm in the process of trying to return that starter. I just bought it. And I do need to do a little bit of more wiring fixes and stuff on it. But But I'm looking forward to getting to that John Deere. I'm just waiting on fuel pump for it, and also the fuel shutoff switch to the tank right there on the back. Once I get those items, I'm going to get this thing in, put the fuel lines on it, and do all that good stuff. I have separated all of the good weed eaters that I got from that $80 pile. I sent off the McCulloch leaf vac to a guy or a subscriber in Long Island. Michael, if you're watching this, thanks for buying it. I let him have it for $25, and then he paid the cost of shipping. And I think he's got a good unit. I think all it needs is a little bit of carb work and fuel lines, and I think he might have a good unit. I hope it works out well for you, Michael. Thank you again for buying, and thanks for being a loyal subscriber to the channel. A bunch of push mowers that you'll see coming on the channel. Front end swap on this one. This one I put gas in it and it ran. It's the worst looking one of the bunch, honestly. Just needed a couple of service items. That was about it. Pull rope. My neighbors wanted this one fixed, and so I fixed that for them. It didn't take too much. It was a primer bulb, and I just swapped a different blade on it. It's not really much, but they wanted it fixed, so they're paying for it. That's fine. The second snapper rear engine rider should be coming up here at some point this month. I'm kind of taking my time on it because I want to get some of my other more important or my personal items done here. If we look inside here, you see a bunch of push mowers that have left. I have sold the green tiller that I had, and I have sold the edger that I had, believe it or not. So yeah, we've got those sold. Got a Yard Machines. That's the push mower that came with that lot of mowers that I got. What I've learned is that I wire one of these toggle switches whenever I have a bad bail handle. That's a whole lot better than the zip tie method that I used to use. So you see I got a bunch of push mowers here that I have fixed, and you'll see all those on the channel if you already have not seen them. A couple more in the back. Everything in here is working except for the 2-cycle stuff over there on the side. The Wizard riding mower, of course that's my personal Husqvarna. The Wizard over here, I got to do a little bit of deck work too, and I'm also going to see if I can replace the stator. So we're making good progress. Like I said, we've sold one push mower so far, an edger and a tiller here in March. I anticipate with all the warm weather that we've got that probably half of what you see here will be gone this weekend, if not more. So thank y'all for watching. Again, just let me know about that cam stuff if y'all have any ideas on that. I will hope y'all enjoy this update. I'll catch y'all in the next video.